was what?
I said Bailey Bomb.
Bailey Bomb.
There it is, yeah.
Yeah, I like it.
And if anybody wants a reasonably priced wind catcher, make sure you hit up Candace Bailey 5 on Twitter.
Just swaying in the wind.
Exactly. All right. On the show today, Sarah Jones escapes from Alcatraz. She'll be here live and learn secrets about the J.J. Abrams thriller. I mean, we'll learn them. Yeah. Because she'll be telling them.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
She probably won't, but we'll still talk.
She's gonna.
And employers are asking for your Facebook username and your password. It's crazy. Today's Loop will find out if anything can be done to prevent this privacy violation.
That's the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard. It makes me angry. And later, the Hunger Games cast squares off against Blair Herter. Hopefully, Jennifer Lawrence, Liam Hemsworth, and Elizabeth Banks fill him with arrows. Plus, the GOP primary has fizzled out, but the super villain debate is just heating up. It's got worse ideas and even more pandering than America's usual politics.
Oh, that's something. First, let's learn something. Just to say we did.
Here's Sarah Underwood with the headline.
Well, we've got a hot rumor about something big in store for Apple's next iPhone. Plus, R. Kelly's teaming up with IFC to venture back into the closet. Yes! All that and more coming up in the feed.
I'm so excited! I can't wait!
You love me some trapped in the
I
closet?
love me some Trapped in the Closet.
so good.
The first chapters, not the
original one.
second one.
That was with the midget under the sink,
That
right?
crapped himself.
Or was that too?
Yes,
Yeah.
no, that was the first one.
Ah,
Oh,
really?
it's so good.
A masterpiece. I can't wait to share Trapped in the Closet with my grandchildren someday.
Let's write down the top 5 things on the web.
We're gonna go around the net. I'm gonna veto number 5 and 4. I think we should go right to 3 because it's that good.
Done.
Boom.
All right. And at number 3, a dog.
Yes, a very bad dog.
Jaden, look at this mess. Did you do that? Did you make this mess? Jaden, did you make this mess?
Yes, I did. Now leave me alone. FYI, not a punishment. The bathroom is your dog's favorite watering hole.
Yes, it's like a canine Cheers in there. All of his friends are there. You got poop, poop smell, the garbage can. It's
All the
whole thing
favorites.
How do you discipline your dogs? Is it like a boot to the nose? Do you just tersely worded phrases?
Gizzy, when I tell her no, she looks at me and she starts, like, her eyes start watering. Or sometimes if I would hold her up and I'd be like, no, ma'am.
What? Do you violently shake her and say no,
I just say, no, ma'am. I yell at her like that,
Like
and then
quieting a baby?
No, and then she falls asleep. She gets to me by falling asleep. She's like, Mom, I'm not listening. I'm sleeping.
By the way, if you haven't seen a photo of Gizzy, she looks like her name sounds.
She's a little gremlin.
Yeah, she's a gremlin.
I named her after Gizmo.
She's a gremlin.
The gremlin.
Mrs. Pennyapple got out the other morning.
Uh-oh.
Which is not what I named a dog. The dog came with, the dog was baggage along with emotional baggage with my girlfriend. And she named it Mrs. Pennyapple. And there is nothing more emasculating than 6 a.m. running down the street after a wiener dog in your boxers screaming, Mrs. Pennyapple! Get back, Penny! Penny! And then she's just this little furry brown log of fear shaking.
She's so cute.
She's an ass. And I'm calling her,
adorable.
saying, come here, and now she knows Papa's gonna kick her in the face. So as I get close,
you do
not
not kick her in
literally,
the
I will
face.
swat her and let her know that I hate
Okay.
her as much as I hate her mother. And the dog backs away in fear because it knows, and now it's backing into traffic, so I use my man brain, and I'm like, I got this. Penny, come here, Pen. Come here, Pen. Oh, she thinks, not gonna get a beating, I'm getting a treat. Ha ha, I'm a man. Smack. Let the dog, I felt so terrible. I immediately
feel
felt
so
terrible. I had to
terrible.
trick a dog. The dog thought I was getting a piece of jerky and got a backhand.
You should just say no, but still give her the treat.
What?
Well, I mean, at least she came to you.
Right, no.
You can't trick her to never come to you.
I watched an episode of The Dog Whisperer. I know.
Oh, I bet you do.
I know how to control the dog and her owner. I got it.
I bet. And at number 2, Jeff and Dallas make videos.
Yes, this one's titled The Pyramid Feels Good. And if dry heaves feel good to you, then yes, they're telling the truth. not know what that was, but now I kind of want some Skittles. Anybody else?
Me too.
Their ads are weird. Is that a Skittles ad? I don't think so.
I don't think
that's
so,
probably
no.
the new $20,000 pyramid. They're bringing everything back. Seems weird. I don't know how you win that one exactly.
You don't go on it.
Yes, there you go.
That's how you win.
That's true. All right, today's #1 video is a masterful and probably extremely time-consuming edit of some Mitt Romney footage.
YouTuber Hugh Atkins painstakingly put together this version of the Republican hopeful doing his own corporation-friendly version of Eminem's ode to himself, The Real Slim Shady.
Y'all act like you haven't seen a Mormon before. George, down on the floor. I'm not concerned about the very poor. Got it wrong. Sorry, that's not what I meant. I want every American to be in the top 1%. I'm really named Willard. That's my first name. I'm not looking for a colony on the moon, just for someone to blame. I like being able to fire people.
I'm Newt Gingrich.
You're fired. I'm Rick Santorum, and I'm fired. Boom, boom, boom.
Conservative women.
Love Mitt Romney.
And I love cars. I love lakes. I'm running for office, for Pete's sake. With regards to abortion, you can choose your own adventure. It's a Republican
Dementia.
And I'm more concerned about the banks. They're unable to lend. Corporations are people, my friend. Come on board. Take your fair share, and every Mormon raise your underwear. Sing the chorus. Papa Bear, I'm Mitt Romney, and I'm the real Romney. While the other Mitt Romneys are just masturbating.
So with the real Mitt Romney, please stand up. Please stand up. Please stand up.
That is so well done.
He gave Romney rhythm.
Yes.
Some swag.
But you know, 8 Mile is how long Romney's driveway is.
Yes, one of them. Yeah.
One of the many.
Speaking of politics, the GOP primary is winding down. The Democrats, they have their candidate.
But the supervillain primary is still up for grabs.
Welcome back to the 2012 Supervillain Primary Debate. Our next topic, social issues. Candidate Bain, you recently released this controversial YouTube video on the subject of gay marriage.
I'm not afraid of men on the cars, but we all ride motorcycles all the time. There's nothing to do with all around the country. When that man is gay, and I can't welcome him as point as Bain, I approve his message.
Do you stand by those remarks?
I do.
And what are those remarks? Because nobody can understand you.
Chuck, if I may cut in here, I think what Bain is trying to say is that traditional family values are the very foundation of... Damn it! Lord Vader is aggressively breathing during my response time!
I'm sorry. My volume must be turned up. My bad.
I'd like to take this opportunity to point out that I oppose gay marriage, and the rumors about Dumbledore and I are absolutely not true. It was a wizard staff festival on Fire Island, and that's all. Oh, and by the way, our Fire Island is made of actual fire.
Chuck, it's important to note that voters will never have a sex scandal from me. As a Sith, I don't believe in marriage or sex.
At least you had genitals once. I only have an eyeball.
Well, under a Cobra Commander administration, no one will have genitals, and that's a promise! Cobra! La 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 genitals!
Here, watch. Ready? Okay, let me get it back. There.
What are you guys? Oh, what? Oh, come on. Guys, that's just the way I say it, okay? Yeah. That's just, I can't help that. I heard you talk. You talk funny anyways. You, all of you.
Last time. Here we go. That's good.
Still ahead, the Hunger Games.
Here from stars Jennifer Lawrence, Liam Hemsworth, and Elizabeth Banks after the break.
Love competitive eating. Hey! Fun fact, spring is sprung. And this weekend, theaters will be blossoming with action, drama, and romance, and bows and arrows.
The Hunger Games is serious business.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
The
The anticipation is over. The Hunger Games are finally here.
I volunteer! I volunteer as tribute.
Direct from the pages of the best-selling novel, it's the story about a girl who puts her life on the line for her little sister.
Happy Hunger Games.
What were you most interested in maintaining as far as, the vision of what the fans probably?
I love the book the way everybody loves the book. I had such a clear sense when I closed the book for the first time of what I wanted the movie to be. And it's a question of trying to preserve that as much as you can.
If I'm gonna die, I want to still be me.
I just can't afford to think like that.
How does that feel for you guys, knowing that people have these passionate opinions and they haven't even seen the finished product yet?
It's a little scary. Yeah, I think we always had that question on our mind of, how crazy the fans were and how big the books were.
Before I signed on, that was definitely heavy on my mind. I knew how important this character was to so many people.
It's obviously going to be a lot of kids that see it, and I hope that they can identify with a lot of the messages that are in the film as far as government, suppression, reality television, violence, the have and the have-nots.
This is about integrity and keeping yourself intact. And like, that 15 minutes of fame is not really worth your dignity.
What did you say to your sister when you volunteered for her?
I told her that I would try to win.
Who went through more training, you or your character?
Me.
Really?
I'm at, if you hold still, I can kill you level.
When Jen is on the ground with Isabel Furman, they're actually fighting. It's not stunt people.
Just running and combat and agility and climbing, fun stuff.
We were doing ADR, and I said, look at that, Jen. It looks like she's actually trying to kill you. She goes, Gary, she actually was.
Katniss 17, the girl on fire!
If you had to pick one thing that you hope the audience really leaves this movie thinking about, what is that?
And what happens when we forget our humanity?
I think that's the point of the whole thing. That's what Katniss struggles to do, to stay human, despite a culture, and in this case, a game, a system that would try to make you inhuman.
You're stronger than they are.
There's 24 of us, Cal. Only one comes out.
The fans have spoken, and now the Hunger Games are here. May the odds be ever in your favor.
Make sure they remember you.
Thanks, Blair!
Yes.
The Hunger Games is in theaters and IMAX at midnight tonight.
Boom.
Boom, still ahead. Sarah Jones from Alcatraz is here.
Yes, and later, the loop. We'll see what can be done about employers that demand your Twitter and Facebook passwords. It's happening. It's crazy. Stick around. This portion of Attack of the Show is brought to you by The Hunger Games. This Friday, may the odds be ever in your favor. Okay, so we got J.J. Abrams, an island, time travel. Here we go again.
Meet the 63s. The worst criminals this country has ever known are coming back.
My grandfather wasn't a guard, he was an inmate. That's him.
Tommy Madsen?
He killed my partner.
Police!
So we have to find these 63s.
We need to find who took them.
Everybody get down!
They're coming back to our streets.
Drop your weapon!
And no one's going to be able to find them because they don't exist.
What do you think they sent him back here to do?
I want to know what happened to me.
That's what we have to figure out.
Please welcome Sarah Jones, everybody! You are, I'm told, an expert on all things Alcatraz now. You're writing books and updating Wikipedia entries and giving guided tours in your spare time just for kicks?
in my spare time, only on the weekends.
Of course, of course. Did you visit at least to do a little research for the role, or?
Well, the first time I actually visited Alcatraz was when I was doing the pilot. However, the benefit to that was that we were able to go to places that are closed off to the public. So, yeah, so Yeah, so that was kind of
fun. Is there like an employees-only gift shop? Is that where you got to?
Yeah, exactly. No.
Because I've been there. I took the Walkman tour with the old cassette and the big phone.
I didn't even do that.
Headsets, yeah. And I kind of was like, I'll just do my own Walkman tour. It doesn't work that way.
Yeah, no. See, the Rangers were great to us, and they would just take us to different places. And we got to go to the original Alcatraz when it was, when it was the war prison for the Civil War. And,
I didn't even know it originally was that. To be honest.
It was. I know. I couldn't believe it myself. See, because I'm an expert.
Right, of course, yes. You're dropping knowledge bombs left and right on the studio.
Pay attention, yes.
So originally Civil War prison.
Yes, Civil War prison.
And then when did it become just a thing for marathon swimmers? When did that transition happen?
Yeah, no, that I'm actually a little unclear of. I'd have to go back to the Rangers and ask.
Okay. You have but there was some obscure knowledge, like things of like the food that they had, or that there's.
Yes, apparently, Alcatraz had a reputation for having the best food in the prison system.
Yeah.
Best food.
4.5 stars on Yelp.
Well, it's San Francisco. I mean, you can't expect anything less. It must be the best.
Right, of course. Fine dining for your inmates.
Yes,
yeah.
absolutely.
And then they'd have reunions?
They had well, I don't know if they have a reunion every year, but there was actually this documentary called Alcatraz Reunion, and it followed
Clever
around.
name, yeah.
Very. Yeah.
Gee, I wonder what that one's about.
And they invited any inmate who was still alive to come and visit Alcatraz, and surprisingly, quite a few of them came and they were interviewed, and it was so strange though because they were treated like they were celebrities. I mean, people were coming up to them and asking for their autographs.
Right.
And
they're trying to dig through purses and wallets and occasionally shank somebody.
Yeah,
Wow, that's fascinating. And you guys, you don't shoot in San Francisco, yet you did a crazy recreation of like the Bullitt car chase.
We did that in San Francisco.
So you actually went there to shoot that there?
Yes, absolutely, because they wanted to make sure the locations were
the
same. Yeah, hey-yo.
Yeah, that's SF.
Yeah.
Now, did you go to drive around? Like, did they put you behind the wheel?
Okay, well...
Because I know you're leaping from rooftop to rooftop at times. It's actually you.
That's actually me, and it was amazing. But that kind of car chase is not really, something you just do.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
You're right, it is, but it was not something insurance would let me do.
You get a couple bucks of insurance, and you trash that bad boy.
Right, yeah. Let's both go to Warner Brothers, and we'll talk to them about that. And next season, I will absolutely do that.
They have a shoot on site order for me. If I get anywhere near the Warner Brothers lot, it will not happen.
Yeah. So unfortunately, I was not able to do that entire scene, but I did get to pretend. I got to do like, and then they're like, change gears. You got to get that face.
Were you actually? They were like, oh, we'll swear we're gonna CG a car around you. Were you like fully on green screen, or were you actually in a car doing it?
Well, they put the car on a car. And then drove it around.
That's so exhibit of them.
Yeah,
I heard you like cars, so we put a car on a car.
Yeah, the director was in the back seat, and then the camera, the DP was sitting next to me, and with the camera in my face, and so they'd tell me what was happening. They go, okay, turn right, and you're making a jump. You know what I mean? Like,
nailed it. Nailed it.
Thank you. Burt Reynolds.
In the middle of the frantic car chase, did you pull out the iPad and just update your draw something? I heard you're an addict now.
Well, I am, and I did not know of this wonderful creation until after I wrapped Alcatraz, and it's probably a good thing.
Yeah, it's a very good thing.
But I got a pen and everything to try to draw these really great.
Unleash the inner artiste.
But
do you just cheat and just write exactly what it is on it sometimes and send it off?
No, but sometimes if I'm just really not getting it down, I'll write a message like, "Wow, this really sucks. I'm sorry."
Well, that's
or I'll write
I think
really
the person
question
knows that.
mark,
That's not helpful
and then
at all
I'll
to
erase
them.
it, and then I'll. Yeah.
We're gonna have to exchange usernames and get it going.
I'd love that.
We really will.
That'd be
Such a pleasure to meet you. Thanks for coming
so
on.
nice to meet you.
Sarah Jones, everybody. The season finale of Alcatraz airs Monday night on Fox. But now, we robot. Look, whether we like it or not, robots are here to stay, which means it's about time we start putting them to work defending us from all things hostile. Now, one of the most dangerous things to happen aboard a ship is a fire. Unless suppressed quickly, they can spread, ending up with a trapped crew and a disaster. However, with some help from the Navy's new firefighting robot, Safer, boat fires will be less disastrous in the future. short for Shipboard Autonomous Firefighting Robot. SAFER is a humanoid robot being developed by the Naval Research Laboratory to safely fight blazes in the tight spaces of Navy vessels. Based on Charlie, a bipedal robot designed by Virginia Tech's Robotics and Mechanisms Laboratory, SAFER will use multimodal sensors, including a camera, gas monitor, and stereo infrared cameras to navigate through smoke-filled rooms. Then it'll toss some foam grenades where the fire is the hottest. Because it'll need to move quickly throughout a ship's interior, SAFER is being developed as a bipedal robot that can self-balance in rough seas and climb ladders. It also includes programming that gives it the ability to follow a team leader and understand gestures like pointing or hand signals that it uses to determine where assistance is needed the most. While still knee-deep in development, SAFER is scheduled to begin testing in realistic firefighting simulations by September of 2013. But not all robots are going to protect us from fire. Some are being programmed to protect us from their robotic brethren instead. Meet the real King Kaiser. Engineered by amateur roboticist Naoki Maru, King Kaiser is a full-sized humanoid robot developed to fight other machines for our entertainment. As members of Robo One, King Kaiser and its smaller counterparts compete in robotic professional wrestling tournaments that pit dueling robots against each other in semi-scripted battles, akin to America's own WWE. At a little over 3 feet in height, Kaiser has been hooked up to an Asus Axion Pro Live motion sensor that it uses to interpret human movements and mimic them in real time. This means that human operators no longer have to rely on cumbersome equipment to control the fighter's movements. Weighing in at 20 pounds, Kaiser contains an aluminum frame and 37 servos that make up its 25 joints. All that is wrapped up in shock-absorbing plastic armor. In the not-so-distant future, we may see fiction made into reality with giant robots battling each other for supremacy. We can only hope that Hugh Jackman will be around to show them how to really fight. And finally, other machines are being used to protect their creators from the potential dangers that Mother Nature has to offer. Others, like BeetleCam. After a bittersweet safari back in 2009 that left BeetleCam's less armored ancestor in pieces, creator Will Berard Lucas has returned with a better protected camera bot, allowing for some jaw-dropping photographs of the local Kenyan wildlife. Resembling a remote-controlled tank, the armored BeetleCam houses a Canon EOS 550D camera, and that's driven into the belly of the beast from the safety of a nearby vehicle. But when they really want to get the perfect shot, they send in BeetleCam's less shielded big brother, the BeetleCam Mark II. Featuring a $6,000 Canon EOS 1D Mark III, a pair of speedlight flashes, and an HD GoPro camera, the Mark II is capable of wireless, live video feeds and remote camera tilting that allows it to capture amazing still photos, as well as some up-close high-definition footage. With a video documentary due out in a few weeks, make sure to check out berard-lucas.com for more amazing photos or to purchase a BeetleCam of your very own. Don't dread our rapidly evolving robot friends. Embrace them as a shield against the ever-increasing dangers of the world around us.
You can see King Kaiser and his robot brawling buddies at the upcoming International Robo Games in San Mateo, California, April 20th through 22nd. Stay tuned. The Loop will tell you how you can stop your employer from demanding your Twitter and Facebook passwords. Stick around.
Here's a question for you. Would you take 51% of Apple stock if you could never feel the touch of a human again? Well, you logged on to G4TV.com and told us what you thought, and we'll have the results after the break. The results are in, and 62% of you said that you would take 51% of Apple stock if you could never feel the touch of a human again. Why not? It worked out for King Midas, right? You guys remember that? Head on over to G4TV.com for more questions like this and tell us just how far you go.
I would not do that.
No?
No, I would not do that at all.
You could afford robot hands, though, to touch somebody else.
I know. I want to be around people and be able to
okay.
do that.
Okay, now I see what 61% of you were getting at.
62.
62.
62.
No one pays attention to that. Listen, in most cases, T-shirts, they're like underpants for your torso.
But every once in a while, a great shirt shines through. Here's a look at some of those.
Reds!
With Comic-Con approaching, you'd best up your game if you want to stand out in that massive crowd. Here are a few choice selections for you to achieve T-shirt glory. Whether you're a gamer or Star Wars fanatic, Super 7 is the one-stop shop for new takes on fanboy favorites. Their Insert Coin Collection series pays tribute to the bygone but not forgotten era of classic gaming. Feel free to trace your gaming history with the Controller Family Tree. Take the Arcade Rorschach and see what these silhouettes mean to you. And show your love for the NES sleeve by, well, wearing it on your sleeve. For the Star Wars fan, Super 7 has 3 designs to melt even the most jaded fanboy. Like the Arcade Designer, a graphic recreation of the Atari 1983 vector style. Beat that rebel scum with the booming beat of an AT-AT Ghetto Blaster mashup. Or blend in with the Super 7 Camo Walker. Each t-shirt retails for $25 and can be ordered online at super7store.com. If you don't like your shirts too cluttered, streamline your tees over at screened.com. From the iconic to the obscure, these minimalist superhero tees can act as a litmus test to separate the noob from the know-it-all. Sure, everyone can spot the last son of Krypton by his hairline. And who else but your friendly neighborhood web crawler has these eyes? But riddle me this, who is this masked man? Be it DC or Marvel, these stripped-down heroes can be yours for about $24 a pop over at screened.com. And finally, if you're looking to turn heads or just churn some stomachs, San Francisco's RottenCotton.com is the t-shirt peddler for you. Since 1989, Rotten Cotton has been screen printing designs by hand that pay tribute to your favorite cult, sci-fi, and exploitation films. Like this Stephen Bunnell designed illustration of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre villain, Chop Top. Or this unforgettably awesome design of the forgotten 80s classic, The Gate. And why not rule the wasteland with the Road Warriors, Lord Humongous on your chest? In addition to fictional monsters and maniacs, Rotten Cotton has an entire selection dedicated to society's most infamous real-life monsters. Be the envy or enemy of your hood for about $15 a shirt. Depending upon the kind of geek flag you want to fly, be it horror, comics, or sci-fi, these threads are tailor-made for you.
Oh, it appears as if it's Twitter wall time.
That's what it says on the old TikTok watch clock. What do we got? Griff Moy says, who out of the G4 crew would win in a Hunger Games competition? Whoever wins, everyone else loses. Me.
You would win?
Absolutely me.
I don't think I would want to win because I couldn't kill anybody.
Oh, I could absolutely kill you.
No.
I know that I would be
I know
perfect
you
at it.
could kill
I've gone over multiple scenarios in my head about how I would murder everybody on the G4 staff. So
I'm sure you
I'm
have.
ready. I know exactly how I do it. I know when I do it. It'd be perfect.
Oh, that's horrible. I would lose.
I was honest. Hey, for that tweet, we're giving you 5 awesome cult shirts from Rotten.com. Look at these shirts. Look at all these shirts. Look at these shirts. You can wear these shirts. Boom.
And the shirt.
Okay, time now for the news.
Sarah Underwood, fall in.
What? I don't want this. Thanks, guys. Right now it's time to start the feed.
All the news you need to know. The feed.
It's Thursday, March 22nd. Here are your top stories. Apple just took a big step with the massive super high-def display on their new iPad. And now, rumor has it that they're looking to embiggen, yes, that's a word, the display on the next iPhone. Reuters is citing a Korean newspaper that's saying overseas suppliers have started shipping out 4.6-inch high-res Retina displays, presumably for the next-gen iPhone. That is over an inch bigger than the 3.5-inch display on the iPhone 4 and 4S. Reports are hazy when to expect a possibly supersized iPhone and whether or not it will replace or supplement the current model. But what we do know for sure is to expect a river of fanboy tears when they discover it takes a whole hour more to charge the device. Oh God, stop it. Netflix may be pissing off everyone from HBO and Starz to the cable providers themselves, but they are going full stream ahead with rounding up exclusive content like a new series from the one and only Eli Roth. Yep. Roth will direct and executive produce the series Hemlock Grove. Based on the graphic novel by Brian McGreevy, the 13-episode season will premiere early 2013, most likely around the same time of David Fincher's House of Cards. In addition, Netflix is reportedly trying to pick up and retool Fox's recently canceled Terra Nova and ABC's The River, which is supposedly on its deathbed. you know what? Good. Soon there will be more to watch than CNBC documentaries and The Lincoln Lawyer, which I've seen 3 times on Netflix already. It's so good, I know.
So good, that lawyer.
3 times. I need more
Lincoln.
stuff to watch. Okay. Today, Google Street View got 1,000 times cooler. Users can now go on a virtual safari through the heart of the Amazon rainforest, you guys. Really cool. Working with the Brazilian government, Google took over 50,000 photos covering a 30-mile stretch of land along the Rio Negro River. Users can tour the Amazon's dense forests, serene waters, and even some of its most remote villages. But the folks at Street View aren't done yet. No, they're not. They're already hard at work photographing an underwater tour of the Great Barrier Reef. Now, I think it's pretty obvious that the next logical step is going to the moon. Let's make it happen, people. Now, you may remember R. Kelly's weird as hell hip opera, Trapped in the Closet. How could we forget? I know. Well, the 2005 cult hit that led to 22 separate music videos featuring illicit affairs and little people is coming back. Yes. And R. Kelly is teaming up with IFC to write, produce, star, and co-direct the series. Fans of the original remember that the final video abruptly ended with all the cast members discussing a mysterious package. And Kelly said, "Not only am I ready to reveal what the package is, but I also have many more chapters to share." Well, you know what? He's got his work cut out for him if he wants to top the original, because if there aren't aliens, time travel, and something that looks like the Lost Monster, I'm gonna be very disappointed. Yes. And finally, call up your little sister, because Angry Birds Space has arrived! Yes! Yes, the latest follow-up to Rovio's popular game came out today. Things have been changed up this time around as the birds are up against the egg-stealing pigs in zero gravity. Download it now on iOS or Android for 99 cents. I'm Sarah Underwood. You've just been fed. Now let's go over to Kevin.
Thank you, Sarah Underwood. Heart you. Listen, some job employers have begun asking for more than just references during the interview process. Now, they want your Facebook username and your password. It's true. Is there anything that can be done to prevent this privacy violation? We're going to find out right now in The Loop. Joining me from New York to help us make sense of it all, senior editor for CNET.com, Dan Ackerman is back. How are you, sir? Dan, reports are coming out left and right that employers and scholarship providers are actually asking for Facebook passwords during an interview process. I mean, it sounds like an obvious question. Maybe it is. But why do they need this?
Well, the companies are going to claim that they're doing kind of an enhanced background check. And for a lot of jobs, maybe they'll call your old references or they'll hire a background check company to see if you have like a criminal past. This takes it a step further. Maybe they're going to see if you do like unsavory things on Facebook and you post photos of it, or you maybe badmouth your old employer, the kind of thing that a company wishes they knew about somebody before they hired them.
Sure. Well, is this practice legal, though? Can they, can they request that information? Can they demand that information?
Well, they can ask. It's a little bit of a gray area. You're technically violating the terms of service of whatever social media network you're on by giving someone else your password and letting them access your account. And in some cases, that actually may be illegal, but it's not a crime that anyone's prosecuting right now. And it's really one of those fuzzy areas that the law just hasn't caught up with yet.
And it's one thing to ask for that information, but I read reports that some cities are having applicants log into social media sites from their company computers to give them access. That way they're getting around the sort of, oh, give us your username and password. Just go ahead and log in over there and leave it up so we control your photos.
Yeah, a lot of ways they're doing it. They're either asking for your account information and your password, or they're telling you to log in front of them and kind of looking over your shoulder, or maybe they're asking you to accept a friend request from one of the HR managers. So there's a bunch of ways they try to get you. So that's why finding a solution to this is going to be tricky, because there's all these different methods that they use.
Well, so what is the solution? Is anybody working on at least making this an illegal practice?
A couple of individual states are looking at this, and then Senator Richard Blumenthal from Massachusetts is also considering proposing legislation that would make this illegal, that may be swatting a fly with a hammer. We've really only heard of a few cases of this, and it pops up every once in a while, but it's getting to the point where it's getting kind of scary.
Yeah, because what's next? Is it give me a copy of your browser history or give me your house keys? Because actually, a lot of people are saying the house key analogy, but the virtual me that I keep online is far more detailed than anything I can keep physically at my house. I'd be far more concerned with handing over a password.
And now that everything's on the cloud, including your browser history with a lot of Google products, it's a lot easier to get to that stuff. So all that stuff really does follow you around. And if you give somebody one password, let's say to Google+, then they can access all your email and sometimes your browser history and everything like that. Yeah.
And you know, some people are saying, well, listen, if you're on the hunt for a job, then maybe you should delete your Facebook or cancel your Twitter account or try to lock it down or something like that. But most people rely on that social media to actually find leads. And with unemployment right now at like 8.3%, depending upon which study you read, do potential employees, do they have any recourse? Should they just lie and say they're not on these services?
Well, then they're just going to Google you and look you up and see that you're on it. Most of the time, it's cast as something that's sort of voluntary. They ask you to provide it, but people are really intimidated. They're afraid to say no. So I would say you would definitely say no if somebody asks. Hopefully, it wouldn't impact your chance of getting the job, because if you feel like it does, then it really is coercion. It's not voluntary at all.
Dan, just so we can wrap this up, what is your Facebook password?
It's Bosco.
Ah, got it. Intercapsed?
That's right, that's right.
Boom, nailed it. All right, thanks to Dan Ackerman. Look for very interesting wall updates coming from him very soon, courtesy of me. Dan Ackerman from CNET, thank you for keeping us in the loop, sir. But now, let's go over to a person whose Twitter password I totally don't know. Tiny Candy Dancer 19.
That's not it. Stay tuned. Jessica Chobot, Josh Duhamel, and the men of Bomb Patrol Afghanistan are next. Stick around.
Are you a fan of Monty Python? Well, if you answered yes, then their new iPad app is a must-have. Monty Python and the Holy Book of Days is the ultimate behind-the-scenes look at the making of their cult classic Monty Python and the Holy Grail. The app is a day-by-day breakdown of all 28 days of production.
Just a flesh wound.
Each day is jam-packed with tons of good stuff, including a detailed description of the shoot, script notes, behind-the-scenes footage, and diary entries from the cast members. It's so detailed, it even has raw audio takes and continuity reports of each shot.
What is your favorite color? Blue. No, yes.
The app can also sync with the recently released Blu-ray so that you can follow along on your iPad while you watch the film. So don't be a knight who says, "Meh," and go get this hilarious, one-of-a-kind iPad app for $4.99 in the iTunes App Store.
On the next Attack of the Show.
We're celebrating Comic-Con all week long in honor of Morgan Spurlock's new documentary, Comic-Con Episode 4 of Fans Hope. We'll have exclusive clips from the documentary, talk with Spurlock and Kevin Smith live in studio, and take a look back at some of our favorite moments from Comic-Con's past. Hey, stop it! Stop it! I want to talk about reunions.
Oh,
Everybody loves them. You know, you get to see who got fat, who got bold. They're great.
Jessica Chobot crashed the Bomb Patrol Afghanistan get-together.
Returning to G4, Bomb Patrol Afghanistan will again follow a Navy explosive ordnance disposal team as they hunt and destroy IEDs in the hostile terrain of Afghanistan.
Oh, hey, hey!
So, is this your first time meeting the guys?
This is my first time. I feel like I know them because I've been narrating the show now for about 6 months, so it was exciting for me to get a chance to come and do this and finally meet them in person.
The men of EOD Platoon 342 are several months into a 5-month deployment.
How did you get on the show?
We get ordered to do stuff.
You were ordered?
Yeah, this is the military, so.
I got volunteered.
Yes.
I didn't get volunteered. They're like, hey, we need somebody to go. And I'm like, all right.
This Is it eating the C4?
What has the reaction been to you guys being followed around with cameras and such?
My first deployment, and it was a fun one. It was just a little bit different having cameras follow you around. None of the real attitudes from the guys that I've worked with have changed much.
Donkey, go!
Let her do. He's good. He ain't gonna get blown up.
Having the camera crew there with us, it was actually really cool. Our team had been together for almost a year by now. And to have these extra bodies come in and have totally different lifestyles, and you know, they didn't really know the stress that was going on half the time.
What? Dang, that shit's and stuff.
So what do you think is the most common misconception that people have over here about what's going on over there?
I think that a lot of times, whether it's the media or whatever, we're not really given the full story. And by seeing a show like this, you really understand how realistic and how deadly it is. It's a real glimpse into the reality of what some of the intentions are.
All right, I see the rocks, and I got the disturbed spot.
In the episode, I only saw 2 types of robots. How many different types do you actually work with?
The 3 robots we primarily use. We have a Talon, which is a larger, it's got a little more capacity. Pack Pot, which is a little bit bigger than our small one. And then we have the little 310. The primary purpose for that is when we dismount it, that we can put that in the pack and have the robot out with us without having the vehicle with us. So.
All right, you're right in that hole. All right, charges away.
I assume your family's watched the show. What has their response been?
They liked it. They were really proud of all the work that all the guys did. The thing I've heard the most from coming back is the only way that we can watch this is because we know you guys are back.
Dear Lord, thank you so much for this day. Please keep us safe as we go out to do our job and get home safely tonight. Amen. Amen.
Well, the few times that I've actually gotten to talk to them, they said they find it very fun.
Yeah, it takes a special breed to do that, and these guys are definitely different than most, cut from different cloth for sure.
G4's Bomb Patrol Afghanistan is a one-of-a-kind series where real-life heroes use the most advanced technology our military has in order to disarm explosives, gather evidence, and fight terrorists.
If you want to vote for something but don't want to wait until an actual election, it makes a noise if you want to do that. That's a lot of people. That's a lot of energy. I say support Sarah Underwood.
Sarah is in the Sweet 16 of Esquire's annual Hottest Woman of the Year tournament, and she is currently up against Fox News anchorwoman Megyn Kelly.
That's not even.
I mean, clearly.
That is a cruel web joke. How dare they?
Head to Esquire.com/women to vote Underwood.
Underwood now. And Megan, I was just kidding. I would totally do you. But vote Sarah.
All right, it's time for today's epic fail. Parking in the city can be very expensive.
Well, here's a guy who really pays at the booth. See? Now you know what happens when you don't get your ticket validated.
Serves him right for parking without a car.
Yeah. Can I be honest about something? Yeah. I was playing a lot of Draw Something during today's show.
Yes, he was.
A whole lot of it.
The whole show long.
I really don't know what happened. I know that I got a lot of coins, though, and I'm going to buy some new colors. I know that much.
And now it's time to end the show.
Yeah, well,
That's
let's do
what
it.
happened.
Perfect. So thanks to me, thanks to Draw Something, thanks to Dan Ackerman, Jessica Chobot, Blair Herter, Sarah Jones, and thanks to all of you for voting for Sarah Underwood right now. So go do it. I already thanked me.